Hey guys, my name's Taylor, and today we're going to talk about something that seems to be pretty simple in today's society, yet not a lot of people actually know how to do it or do it for themselves. And we're going to be talking about creating a budget. Very basic, nothing crazy, but let's get into it. I've broken this down into 5 easy steps. First one, figure out how much you make on a monthly basis that you take home. So that's going to be everything after health insurance, after taxes, after 401k contributions, whatever you have that gets taken out. Figure out how much money you have to work with. Step number 2, you're going to want to figure out how much money you spend on a monthly basis on average. So this is going to be anything from your mortgage or your rent, your utilities, your entertainment, your car payment, anything and everything that you spend, necessary and unnecessary. You're just going to want to get a broad picture of your spending habits pretty much. For me, I literally just went to my bank statements for the last 3 months and totaled up everything. For stuff like utilities that change on a monthly basis depending on how much you use them, you just average them out, just get a number. And then this is going to be what you're going to use for the next step. Step number 3, categorize your spending. Is going to be the thing that people kind of have the most issues with as far as deciding what is going to be unnecessary and necessary. So you're going to want to categorize your spending into unnecessary spending and necessary spending. Now, your necessary spending obviously is going to be your rent or mortgage, your utilities, your car payment, these things that you can't really live without. A grocery list as well. Another thing is going to be gas for your car. And then you're going to want to categorize pretty much everything else into unnecessary spending. And unnecessary spending is going to be things like going out to eat. It's going to be unnecessary things like you might get at a gas station while you fill up. You might want to get a corn dog or a hot dog or a burger. Things you don't necessarily need. Entertainment, going out with your friends, drinking, going to the bowling alley, or just be like, I've had a long day at work, I deserve this or that. You go on Amazon, get a couple purchases, do a little bit of retail therapy. Usually not necessary. The reason why some people have such a hard time with this one is because they have a warped sense of trying to understand what is actually necessary and what's unnecessary. Some people think the Amazon purchase that you made a week ago because you were feeling depressed was a necessary purchase. As much as people can understand, things like that, as far as from a financial standpoint, it's unnecessary spending, and that's something you're going to want to cut if you need to. This brings us to step number 4. You figured out how much money you bring in on a monthly basis. You've looked at your bank statements and figured out how much money is going out on a monthly basis. So now it's time to just do the math. You're going to figure out how much of your necessary spending that you have, minus it from what you're bringing in on a monthly basis. Hopefully, the amount you bring in is more than your needs, because that's what you're going to need to survive, to just get by. And if you have a significant portion of your income is you can use for fun, and you have a lot of money left over after paying for your needs, congratulations. You are not like the average American. Most Americans make just enough to get by. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not able to effectively pay down their debt that they've been accruing throughout their lives. Now, usually, most people recommend the 50-30-20 rule, where you spend 50% of your income on your needs, 30% on your wants, and 20% on investing or saving. And depending on where you are in life, these percentages might change. If you're later in life, high 40s, mid 50s, low 60s, whatever, you're getting closer and closer to that retirement age. You're probably going to want to save more and more and more to get ready, or if you've done a bunch of saving throughout your life, you want to kind of, enjoy the money that you're currently making, because your savings and your investing in your retirement accounts might be, on track to get you by when you retire. So you want to enjoy the money that you have right now. If you're early on in your life, like in your 20s or your 30s, I would highly, highly recommend you bump up your saving and investing to above that 20%, because the more you do now, the less you have to do later, and the more time there is for compound interest to work. But back to doing the math. So if you've taken your necessary spending and subtracted it from your take home, and you have, say, $1,000 left over, good job. But then you realize, wait, if I have $1,000 left over that I can just use, or I should be saving, and then you look at your bank account and you're like, oh my God, there's nothing in here. I should be having $1,000 a month. Well, then hopefully when you were looking at your bank statement, you would have realized, man, I've spent a lot of money on eating out, or I've spent a lot of money on drinks, going downtown. I spent a lot of money on movies, whatever it may be. And that'll trigger something, be like, man, maybe I should start cutting back on some things. If you guys want to learn a couple strategies on how to reduce your spending or to save a couple bucks here and there, I'm not going to get into it now, since this is just a basic overview on how to make a budget, but I will make another video that you guys can check out later. Now, this brings us to step number 5. You're going to track and revise your new budget. Now, when you looked at it at step number 4 and you did the math and everything, and you figured out, maybe I'm not making as much as I thought, or my spending is a little bit out of control, I'm going to make a couple changes. Well, you can't just make the changes and then not see how you did a month later and hopefully it's worked. No, you're going to keep looking at it month by month, more often if you want, and seeing how that's affecting your budget, how it's affecting your bank account. Did you see if it's going to go up? Is your bank account going to go up? Is it going down? Did you replace your cut spending with other stuff you weren't spending on before, and you're still spending the same amount of money? Either way, whatever you're doing, you're going to want to look at it, evaluate, and go through the entire steps again if you need to. I also recommend to revise your budget after you have paid off big purchases, big ticket items. So if you had like a $10,000 credit card that's all of a sudden paid off, and you got this $500 a month extra in your bank account, don't just say every month, okay, that's $500 more I can spend. Make sure you make that extra $500 work for you in the most efficient way possible. Another big ticket item is paying off a car. Well, that's usually another $300 that you didn't have before. So figure out how you can make that work for you. Now, if you guys want to see other budgeting ideas or anything else, just either message me, give me a comment. I'll look them over and I'll be able to make more videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.